All right, I wanted to go ahead and just finish the last example on this page just so you'd have it. But this is basically converting general form to standard form. We're going to complete the squares doing this. And what we're going to do is complete it for both x and for y. So first thing I'm going to do is separate them out and group all the x terms together. All right, and I'm going to leave myself a little space for the term that I'm going to use to complete it. And then I'm going to put my y squared plus 8y. I'm going to leave a little space, and then I'm going to move that 10 over to the other side by subtracting 10 from both sides. Okay? And so now what I want to do is just go through my routine of completing the square. If you remember from last time, what we ultimately did in order to complete our actual square drawing was we ended up taking this number right there, dividing it by 2, and then squaring it. So if we take that 6 and we divide it by 2, we get 3, or negative 3 because it's a negative 6, and then we square it, we get a plus 9. Now, before I said you had to add it and subtract it, and if we're subtracting on this side, we can basically just add it to both sides instead, right? That'll keep it the same. So I added a 9 to one side, and I'm going to add a 9 to the other side so they stay the same. And then over here, I'm going to take this 4, complete the square for the y, divided by 2, or I'm sorry, I'm going to take the 8, already divided by 4, I guess, divided by 2, get 4, take that 4 and square it, and get a plus 16. Since I added a 16 here, I have to add a 16 over here. And so now, if I look at these, they are perfect squares. And so for this one, I can think, well, what number multiplies when you squares to 9 and adds to negative 6, and that's going to be a negative 3. Over here, I think of what number multiplies to 16 or squares to 16 and adds to 8, and that's 4, a positive 4. And then over here, I just have to add these numbers together. And so I've got negative 10 plus 9 is negative 1, and negative 1 plus 16 is 15. And so now that I do that, I have it in the proper form. And so if I look at this, our proper form is supposed to be x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. So if I want to get all the terms out of it, I can leave this one alone. It's already minus it, so x minus 3 squared, that one works. But over here I have a plus, so I'm going to make that y minus negative 4. And then over here I have 15, but it's supposed to be r squared, so it'll be the square root of 15 squared, like that. And so now this looks just like it, and I can read the numbers right off of it. And so if you remember, for reading the numbers off of it, the center was at hk, and so h is 3, and k is negative 4. And the radius was just whatever number is here, the square root of it, so it's going to be square root of 15. And so if I wanted to graph this, I'd go to 3, negative 4, right there. I'll do a radius of the square root of 15, which is a little less than 4, because 4 squared is 16, so I'll go up a little less than 4, so maybe right there, and go to the right a little less than 4, go down a little less than 4, and go to the left a little less than 4. And so I get something like that, and then all I have to do is actually draw in the circle, just kind of draw it in, and there you go. That's our completed circle. We got it in the standard form right here. We took that standard form and made it really put the minus signs and the squares and stuff in there, so we could get our center location from h and k, and then the radius was the square root of that number over there, and there we go. Drew it in, put our center, and did it. All right, hope that helps.